Street Talk Sports. Man, I woke up today. I had something on my heart, man, with to talk about with you guys. Like and subscribe, man. Share the video. You know, to be the legend, well, to be the son of a legend, I should say, to be the son of one of the top five athletes in our time. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, whose dad is Deion Sanders, right? Do you know the mental capacity you have to operate under those circumstances? It's hard, man. And I know we will probably never understand it to the fullest or know it because we're not in that situation, or, some of us never played sports anyway, or even if we did, or I did, whatever you did. At that level, man, just think about it. Since the time he was 5 years old, 6 years old, when he knew who his dad was, it's been pressure. It's been pressure. It's been hate. It's been doubters just because of who his dad was. It has always been for Shedeur Sanders, because of who your dad is why you getting to play this position or do this or start or whatever. It's always been that. They never looked at the talent of him coming up before looking at who his dad was. You know what I'm saying? And to have the lights on you all your life and still end up with the kind of kid and guy that Shedeur is, hey man, it's amazing. And to go out and actually operate at a high level under those conditions since youth, that's big. And I know a lot of y'all look at, why are you talking about youth and this and that? I'm just trying to get you to understand the level that he has to operate under, the pressure, the hate. The man has been treated unfairly because of who his dad was pretty much this whole time, especially when he got into the NFL. The man has been doubted with his talent because of who his dad was pretty much this whole time. You know what I'm saying? And you have other greats who kids be, in the league or drafted NBA, NFL, whatever. You have Emmitt Smith, the Jerry Rice, their son is in there, but you don't hear from those guys like that. They're great players. They undrafted, Emmitt's son was or whatever. He's a good guy, good player. No knock on that. But you don't see the scrutiny, and the light is not on them like that. So they can kind of skate under the radar and become the player they're going to become. Take the time to develop, take the time to learn. You have more of a chance to do that. With Shedeur, and even with Jerry Rice's son, the same thing. I think he's been on a couple practice squads, waved here or there, whatever. But he's learning and he's coming along. He's going to be a good player. He's already a good player, but he's going to be a good NFL player. But with Shedeur, even drafted 5th round, even 4th on the depth chart on a team, you still get the scrutiny. You still have the mic in your face on a daily basis. They had the mic in his face as a 4th stringer on the team and never interviewed the backup quarterback, which was Dylan Gabriel at the time. Everybody wants to hate on him. Not everybody, because he has a lot of fans, but I'm just saying, so much hate from so many different ways that's coming at you. Can you imagine how hard it is to operate under that kind of pressure? Man, Shedeur has to have a mental capacity. His mental has to be second to none. You know what I'm saying? And to keep that confidence and to keep that hunger and that drive when so many people are lying, saying false things, all this stuff, man, it's got to be one of the hardest things in the world, man, to operate under. I'm telling you, has to be one of the hardest things in the world to operate under. So, he's he's one of those kind of guys where you have to like him. You have to like him, and you have to understand that he's ordained. Like he's destined to be good because he's not stopping, he's not wavering, he's keeping pushing forward. Under all these circumstances, no matter what you push him back, what you knock him, what you say about it, he's still pushing forward. And he's still doing it with a great attitude, with a still help first attitude, with a still do for the community, with a still, he has the right mind frame. And with all you negative people trying to push him down, knock him down, say this, say that, you know, and not to get off, and I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is the greatest thing since whatever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that nobody, a lot of people, not saying nobody, a lot of people are not giving him the fair chance to develop, to learn, and to grow. You're crucifying him already before he ever gets that chance. You're saying he can never be that off of a few games in his career, which is amazing to me to say that about a player who you quote unquote you say you see this and that, you see the talent here or there, but you have so many great people that play his position telling everybody he has it. He has everything it takes. But you crucifying him and you're saying he can never be this. He shouldn't even be on the team as a backup. You know, all this crazy stuff, you know, just because he's loved by plenty. He's liked by most. He has this great fan base. Okay, deal with that. But don't treat him in a negative way because of all of us and what we bring in and the way we believe in him or whatever. Like, it's a lot more to Shedeur Sanders than just football if you look at it. And a lot of you want to say, you know, anything he do outside of the league, even when he's in practicing, he's doing it too much. He's not doing it the right way. You act like he wasn't raised in the household with one of the top 5. That's arguably because I think he's top 2 or 3. Deion Sanders, to be raised by him, you're just not giving him enough credit. You know what I'm saying? And not understanding how hard it is. You know, it's the reason why Michael Jordan kids, you know, no knock on them, great kids, but it was hard to operate when your dad was Michael Jordan. It was hard to step out on the court and operate on a very high level when your dad was Michael Jordan. This is what Shedeur Sanders had to deal with when his dad is Deion Sanders. It's hard. And he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? When you look at most athletes who make it, their dad may have played in the NFL or NBA, but he may have not been that top guy. Those guys, a lot of those guys make it. Scottie Pippen, so, you know, a lot of those guys make it and be pretty good because they wasn't under the scrutiny and the spotlight the way those top athletes' kids are, which is unfair, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, give this kid a chance. Like, he deserves a chance. He's a good enough individual. He showed enough skill. He showed enough heart, enough promise, you know, to do everything the right way in the community, on the field, off the field. He showed enough to get a fair chance for some of you people to back up off of him, you know, in this way, or at least give him some more credit. Look at him from what he's worth, from where he's coming from what he's playing under, and just say, hey, he has a chance, because he does. He's operating now for the starting position or whatever. And a lot of people are still saying, Tony Grossi, he could be traded before Dillon Gabriel, which is mad. You know what I'm saying? You would think if he didn't get the starting position, he would be what? The backup. You know what I'm saying? You would think that. You know, I just said this on a video the other day. But man, This is about Shedeur Sanders, the pressure that he operates under, the scrutiny and all this, and he's still a great kid, still a great individual. He still has faith, and he's still moving forward. So this is really about him, man. This is really about looking at what it takes to do what he's doing under the kind of spotlight and pressure that he does it under. That's how I know he's built for this starting position. He's built for it. He's been groomed for this his whole life because he's been dealing with the pressure like that. No moment would be too big for Shedeur Sanders in the NFL in any moment. It won't be too big for him. He will step up and he will believe that he could do it. Now, whether he did it or not, he would believe he could do it. And to believe it is the first thing to making it happen. That's the first thing to making it happen, is to believe it. If you don't believe it, it's probably not going to happen. I just listened to some other day, and it's off the subject, with Earl Spence Jr. when he was talking about when he fought Crawford. In so many words, Earl Spence was trying to say he didn't believe that he could beat him. Whether he didn't believe it because of his preparation or whatever, the different levels of their skill level or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But if you listen to that interview he did, in a way, he did not believe that he could beat him. And that's when he lost the fight. Earl Spence is a great fighter. He's a great champion. He's a great guy. But in his mind, I think he doubted himself. You cannot do that. Shedeur Sanders never doubts himself. Never doubts himself. I seen one time last year sitting on the bench by himself. I seen a look on Shedeur Sanders' face I had never seen before. I had all these years of watching him, no matter what the situation was, I had never seen this look on Shedeur's face. That's when I knew he doubted himself that one time. And he kind of speaks about that. It says he spent this whole offseason, this whole time, making sure he never get that feeling again. He never does that again. And that was the only time that I've ever seen him like that. And I tell you, and I called my best friend and I told him, I said, hey man, I seen a look on Shedeur's face I've never seen before. And it was because of all the circumstances that was around him, the Kevin Stefanski's, all the stuff, didn't feel wanted, wasn't getting the rips. I mean, just all of it. And his appeals around him, they drafted him that way anyway. He wasn't that. But I understand all that. But not to feel wanted or to feel like they was pouring into you was different for him. It threw him off. The way they did him on the sideline, throwing to the ball boys or whatever, in the trash cans, just all that, it weighed on him. He got in the game. He's coming to the sideline. Coach is not saying nothing to him, not interacting with him, whatever. And he's a rookie. You should do that. You should encourage him. You should breathe life into him, as he said. But he was getting none of that. So it was hard. And he doubted himself that one time. And he said that he would never do it again. And I believe that. So Shedeur Sanders, hey man, we backing you. We behind you 100%. And we know what you're going to do. We know who you are. We know what you've been through. So let's go.